All right, welcome back to the TROYCAST. In the studio, I'm Soonjen Park.
And I'm Parker Kane.
And with our guest today is Mr. Wrestler.
That's me.
Who's also the assistant coach of Trobots.
Yes, Evan Kravis is the head coach, and I started assistant coaching last year.
Woot woot. Okay, Trobots is a robotics team at Park Hill. Tell us more about who you guys are and what you guys do.
So kind of the goal of the whole First Robotics program, which is the program that runs the competitions, is to stop thinking of these teams as just battle bots, and more think of it as a mini Silicon Valley company. So the goal is to have people in charge of branding, PR, outreach, as well as people that are great with the actual mechanical knowledge, such as programming, electrical, and just mechanical engineering.
So all the fields that make a team.
Exactly. So it's not just building a robot, it's also how do we raise awareness about our program and how do we meet the needs of our community.
Okay, so above and beyond than just competing, what are you guys going to reach out during your preseason?
Okay, so during our preseason or off-season, we're typically learning new skills, but we've also started to launch FLL Junior Programs, which you can think of it as basically like Lego robotics. So a little more simplified, but still playing with Legos, which is what elementary school students love. So we have started elementary Lego robotics programs in every elementary school that feeds into our high school, which is great because our ultimate goal is for it to be like Pop Warner to football. We want these programs that continue K through 12 so that by the time they get to us, they've learned a lot.
They have that background with it.
Exactly.
So then, does that go through middle school too?
Yes. So we have one team right now at Congress that just got going. They're starting to get their feet beneath them, getting the program going. Our ultimate goal is, to have a program in every building at every grade level.
Have you guys already began this?
Yeah, so we started with nothing. After redistricting, some of the teachers that had done robotics switched buildings, and those programs just kind of stopped in this transition period. So these 6 elementary teams and 1 middle school team essentially have started from scratch this year. So I feel pretty good that we started from nothing, and now we've already got 7 teams going.
So the kids from the robotics team are going out to these other schools.
Exactly.
How do they feel? What's some feedback they've given you guys about how it's been going so far?
So we call it Trobot Mentors, and it's basically that our high school students are going in pairs to the elementary school programs to just help assist the teachers in putting on these programs. So for the students, I think they've been pleasantly surprised with the energy of the elementary school students that they just...
That's awesome.
Yeah, they love having somebody older come and hang out with them.
Yeah.
So I think some of the high schoolers maybe thought, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I'm actually a mentor. But by the time they get there, they realize it's really just hanging out and being friendly and asking questions.
Okay.
That's the best part. Yeah. That's the best kind of relation. Tell me about your Go Baby Go.
Yeah, so another program that we're starting this year it's called Go Baby Go, and other robotics teams have done this in the past, and we are going to a training this Saturday to learn how to convert essentially motorized cars like the Barbie Jeep that you wanted when you were in elementary school, converting those into accessible motorized wheelchairs for students with disabilities. So you can imagine as a young kid ages, if they have a physical disability or a mobility issue, it would be extremely expensive for a family to buy a new wheelchair as they grow up. So by converting these relatively cheap cars into motorized wheelchairs that fit their needs, we can provide this to families that wouldn't normally have it. So the high schoolers, they take the Jeeps, they convert them, they switch out mechanical equipment, electrical equipment, they add sensors, they add new steering devices. So they're essentially building a robot.
Yeah.
That is quite the accomplishment. One thing you do for your team to give back in the community.
Yeah. What do we do? Or that is a good thing to give back?
No, it's good. It balances on both sides.
Right, yeah. So you could imagine the skills they're developing. But at the same time, these students... it's hard to imagine, I want to be over there, and I can't on my own. That's something we take for granted all the time, is just having that ability to move. So for them, it's amazing. For the students that are getting these chairs as well as that are building it, it's just wholesome all around.
So it's students that are getting the chairs. Or the cars, or... Yeah,
essentially younger elementary age or pre-elementary age students, yeah.
Have you guys already started building these?
Saturday will be our first build. And then our goal is for every year to build more and more. So we're going to start with one, make sure we know how to do it right. And some other robotics teams have invited us to come learn from them. But once we have that knowledge, our goal is to build multiple every year.
How long does it take to make one of these? Like the resources?
Right.
You know what
So there are camps that get put on. The workshop we're going to Saturday, we will build a complete car in that one workshop. So the first time around, I think they've planned for about 6 hours for us to do this work.
One car is 6 hours about?
Correct, yeah.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. And especially if you get multiple teams working, and it's about 10 people per car. So if you grow your team as well, we can make more cars. So, yeah, it's definitely doable to expand how many we get done.
Sounds like a busy season for you guys.
Yeah, and that's just the off season. So,
So coming on with the on season, like when does your on season begin?
Yes, so the first Saturday in January, we will come to the high school at 8 in the morning, and we will spend almost 12 hours here, because that morning there will be a live stream, and they're going to release the new game for the year. They're going to tell us the rules, so we'll download the 100-page manual, and every one of us will read through that manual, make sure we know the ruals.
Wow, kicking off the year so strong.
Right.
2020 is the vision.
Yeah, so we'll start competing in March, so you can imagine if we've got January 4th as our first day of knowing what we're actually doing, we have about 2 months, maybe 6 solid weeks of building, which is a lot considering you have to prototype, you have to design, and then you have to actually choose the materials, purchase the materials, start putting things together. It's a quick turnaround time. So we're going to put in a lot of hours those first day just coming up with ideas so that we can get started when we get back to the
So
shop.
whenever you make the robots, why do you make them, and like what are the purposes? You know what I mean?
Okay, so for example, basically every robot's going to have to move. So we'll need a drivetrain. We'll need to choose what kind of wheels we want, what kind of motors we want. And then each season, they'll tell you how to score points. So it's based off of points like a basketball game. You score more points, you win. So usually that means picking up an object and manipulating it. So for example, picking up essentially giant exercise balls and placing them in rocket ships. Or picking up plates. So plates off the ground, placing them on the rockets. So you're manipulating some objects to score points. And for example, at the end of last year, to get the most points, you had to climb about 3 feet at the end.
How many students are in Trobots right now?
We're still finalizing roster numbers, but we have over 30 students involved in robotics now.
Dang.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And we're always looking for more. That doesn't mean we're full. We can always use more people.
So if you feel like you want to join Trobots,
Come to room 421.
Hop right on in.
421 is where it's at. All right. Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you guys already have your gears turning. Thank you for participating today, Mr. Wrestler.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Signing off. I'm Soonjin Park.
And I'm Parker Kane.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.